Hey guys, it's Scary Die 7 from Scary Die Productions, and today I'm going to teach you guys 10 more easy beginner tricks. This is part 2 in a series where I teach you guys easy to medium to hard beginner tricks. And today we're doing 10 easy beginner tricks. So I have a list of 10 tricks I think that all of you guys can learn if you already learned the first part and you just come back and you learn the second part, and you will have a whole arsenal of tricks for you to learn. Now, just a little disclaimer, I'm not really going to give too much information on how to do these tricks, just a general overview of how you might want to attempt it. I'm going to make tutorials for all these tricks in the future, but for now I'm just going to give you the basis of each trick, and I really hope that this does help you eventually learn how to land the majority of these tricks. The first trick I'm going to show you guys today is a trick known as the half flip. Now, the half flip is a very basic trick that it was actually Caveman's first trick, which is why he has it down so clean. The basis of the half flip is basically that you're going to flip it using your right foot and the toes of your right foot. Right, you're gonna flip that, you're gonna flip it up, not out. That is a main miss error with this trick. You gotta flip it straight up. Now you wanna make sure you don't over flip it so that you don't do a full flip, just a half flip. And your left foot has to get out of the way super fast while you're doing this. You also wanna make sure you bend your knees when you're doing this so that you don't just fall out as soon as you start. The second trick I'm gonna show you guys is a trick known as the no comply grab. The no comply grab is also a very basic trick that involves basically 2 steps. You take your front foot off the board, and while you're doing that, leave your back foot on, and the board will naturally just want to have a tendency pop up. You want to catch the board with your hand, and because you're actually holding it with your hand, you have more control over the board, so you can actually place it where you actually want to land it. So when you feel ready, let go of the board, you put your front foot on, land, and ride away smooth. When you want to make sure you do with this trick, you want to bend your knees, and also don't release it too far in front of you or behind you so you don't fall out. The next trick I'm going to teach you guys is a trick that's very similar to the last one, except for this time you're not going to use a grab. It's the straight up no comply. This is a trick that's very similar to the last one, but it has no grab. All the same steps apply though. You have to take off your front foot and you have to let your back foot release. The only thing is that this time you're not going to have your hand to catch the board, which is why it's really important to have your back foot stay on the board, because that's what's going to help to catch the board. Once your back foot catches the board, your front foot will then go on. You can bend your knees, land, and ride away smooth. The next trick I'm going to show you is a trick known as the tail slide. Now, the tail slide is a variation of the no comply grab, mainly because you're still grabbing the board with your hand, but the only real difference this time is that you're going to grab it for a little bit longer, and while you're doing that, you're going to take your hand, you're going to help the board to actually slide on the tail, and that's really where that slide is coming from. You're sliding the board on its tail. Do that for as long as you can, and then when you feel ready, put your back foot on, put your front foot on, bend your knees, and ride away. The next trick I'm going to teach you is a variation of the tail slide known as the front side tail slide, which in my opinion is much more fun than the regular tail slide. Once again, it's a variation of the no comply grab. The only difference from the regular tail slide is that when you grab the board after you release your front foot, you want to push the board out in a front side rotation so that it will do the actual front side tail slide. You want to push it out so that your toes are pushing out, and then once you push it out, you slide for as long as you can, and when you feel better, you want to retract the board back. So I want you to pull the board back into your regular position, almost like pushing it, and while you're doing that, your back foot will catch it first and your front foot will do it, and you'll land and ride away smooth. The next trick I'm going to show you guys is a variation of the tire claw known as the dragon claw. The dragon claw is basically a tire claw with a finger flip. Now, most of the steps are relatively similar to the regular tire claw though. You can start just like a normal tire claw with the pressure pop, but the only difference this time is that once you get to that last 180, you're going to want to do a different motion. This time, you're going to do sort of a pulling up motion, and what that's going to do is that in addition to doing the spin, you're also going to add a flip to it. So always bend your knees and have fun with this trick. The next trick I'm going to show you guys is a variation of the backside tire claw known as the Deamon claw. Now, quick disclaimer, I'm not very good at this trick, but I'm going to try to give you guys whatever tips I can, because I recently got good at this trick and I think it's going to help you guys if you hear my tips on it. Now, what really helped me to get good on it is really the motion. So I've seen lots of people grab this trick by the trucks, but I just couldn't do that. What I would do honestly is approach like a regular backside tire claw. Put your front foot towards the heels in front of your board, let the board pop up, and then I want you to grab the rail of the board and almost pull it in. And you want to pull it in such a motion that it's going to almost use a motion similar to like an inward heel, if you know what that looks like. So I want you to pull it in and out. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow for the flip and the rotation. That was the part I didn't realize how to do, which is why I was always bad at this trick. I really hope with that tip that it helps you guys land the trick. Also, having backside tire claws down will help as well. The next trick I'm going to show you guys is a variation of the regular boneless known as the boneless finger flip. The boneless finger flip is a really fun trick that I enjoy doing all the time. Now the basis of this trick is that you take off your front foot like a normal boneless and you start to lift it up into the air. The only difference is that this time, once you get like about into mid-air, you're going to start to pull it back, which is going to allow for the flip. Now you want to make sure that you wait to put your feet back on the board until the flip actually finishes. Once you see the flip nearly finish rotating, you're gonna want to put your back foot on the board and then follow that with your front foot in mid-air, land, and ride away smooth. You're gonna want to make sure that you wait until it's about 3/4 of the way done. Don't wait until it's fully done, because then you might over flip it or fall. And don't wait too little too, because then you might just underflip it. Also, remember to bend your knees as well. The next trick I'm going to show you guys is a trick known as the Caveman. Now the Caveman is a trick that I've actually made a tutorial for, and I'll link that video below. But like an overview of the trick is basically that you do a pressure pop. No, it's not a front side or a back side pressure pop. You're just going to pop it straight down. And while you're doing that pressure pop, which you should know how to do if you want to attempt this trick, while you're doing the pressure pop, while the board is popping up into the air, you want to grab the board by the nose, and then once you grab it, you want to pull it back, and then once you feel ready, begin to pull the board forward, starting with your back foot coming on the board and then your front foot coming back on the board in mid-air. You also want to make sure to bend your knees. The last trick I'm going to tell you guys about today is a trick known as the front side no complying 180. This is a trick that for a while was basically my worst trick because I just could not get the motion, but I've actually gotten really good at it now, and I feel that I can give you guys some really good tips to help me. Now to start this trick off, you want to start it as if you're starting a front side pressure pop. So you're going to want to take your front foot off the board, and while you're doing that, you're going to want to pop the board in a front side rotation. Now here's the important part, right? Your back foot that is still on the board when you pop the board, you must not let that back foot leave the board. And the reason for that is that that foot is going to be your guiding foot. So while your front foot is off the board, your back foot's going to be popping front side. It's going to be guiding the board around 180 degrees. Your back foot must stay on the board. And so when the board is nearly at 180 degrees with your back foot on the board, you then can put your front foot on the board, bend your knees, and ride away smooth. Thank you guys so much for watching this video today. If you guys really enjoyed that, make sure you leave a like and subscribe for similar content. Also, if you guys want a tutorial for any of these specific tricks, definitely leave me a comment below and I'll definitely get back to you on that because you totally deserve it. As always, I will see you guys in the next video.